Hey guys, I've been asked about eating etiquette and using chopsticks and so on. So there's a lot to that, but I'll just give you a couple of quick ones. One is when you first sit down to eat in Japan, in a restaurant, sometimes in homes too, they'll give you a wet towel. The idea is to clean your hands before you start eating, which, I mean, I assume they'd be clean anyway, but they give you a wet towel. So the first thing you do is pick up the wet towel and just wipe your hands. Even if they're clean already, just do it. It's just part of that etiquette thing. And then you'll notice that they then fold the towel back up to the way it looked before they used it and put it back down neatly. If you watch what the other people do, it's the best way to learn, and you'll find they're very pedantic about that. Everything's very neat and tidy and so on. That's the first thing you do. The next thing is when everybody's ready to eat, just wait until somebody does it first, but somebody will. Someone will say, "Itadakimasu," and it's sort of like giving thanks. It's not necessarily a religious thing, it's just a giving thanks thing before you start eating. And it's also sort of a symbol, because everyone wants to do everything together. So it's sort of a go, begin sort of thing. But it's giving thanks. So it's not really religious. So whatever your religious beliefs, don't worry about it too much. It's not really a religious thing. But they'll say "Itadakimasu." So just when the other people do it, you don't have to say it if you're a bit self-conscious about your Japanese, but that's the signal. So "Itadakimasu," and then they'll pick up their chopsticks. You pick your chopsticks up. This is the correct way to do it. Well, it's probably reasonably close to the correct way to do it. The way you handle chopsticks is sort of very precisely, not precisely, but very sort of carefully, because you want to avoid this sort of thing. They don't point with chopsticks, because of course they're in your hand, so it's very easy, like Westerners do with a fork. You know, you've got a fork in your hand and you're telling a story. They don't sort of wave them around, so they have these little stand things that the chopsticks sit on. They pick them up with one hand, take them, and then off they go. So just be aware that pointing them at people or waving them around is really not cool, so sort of keep fairly controlled about it. Chopsticks, you hold them towards the end. The lower one just sits there like that without much grip on it at all, and the higher one is actually controlled by the thumb and these two fingers. And the idea is that not only can you take things with the chopstick like this, but if you control it like this, you can actually use it to separate, because you'll find when you come to eat something that's a bit big, you'll want to break it up so you can pick it up. So with this, you can actually hold something this way, and you can actually separate things this way. This one's just sitting there. This one here is doing the movement. This probably should be a video on itself. Here he is waving his chopsticks. But so that's the deal with the chopsticks. Quite often they share food, so there'll be a bowl and everybody will be taking food from it. The polite way to do it is to reverse the chopsticks and use the back end to take the food, because what they're trying to avoid is putting them in your mouth and then putting them in the bowl that everybody's taking food from. So just to avoid the germ thing, they'll often reverse them around. If you do that with people that are sort of good friends or family or something, they'll usually say, it's okay, you don't have to do that. But it's just a good thing to be aware of, that may be the correct way to do it. But the best thing, like with anything in Japan, is just watch all the other people and see what they do. Is the best way. Careful who you watch. I've followed the wrong people before. So, you know, pick someone that's sort of maybe a bit older or a bit more experienced, or I'm talking about a Japanese person too. Don't follow another Westerner like me. That's not a good idea. Just look for the most respected person in the group and watch what they're doing and follow their lead. Is always a good strategy with everything in Japan. Is just look for the people that get the most respect and watch how they do things, and that'll give you a bit of an idea on the best way to go. Other than that, the spare hand, if you're drinking, don't hold your chopsticks and drink with the other hand. It's tempting to do because that hand's free, but it's not real cool. So the best thing to do, put your chopsticks down across your bowl. We do knife and fork thing for Westerners is this way. Not cool with chopsticks is that way. Or put them on a little stand that's made for them and drink. And then pick up your chopsticks again when you're ready to eat again and eat again. In Japan, it is okay to pick up the bowl. So particularly if you're new to chopsticks, this is a good thing. You can pick the bowl up and it's okay to eat with the bowl up here. It's actually much better, because if you're doing this and you're not real good, you'll end up with a lap full of food. So this is a good option. Once again, watch what everybody else is doing. If they're all doing this, you know that in that particular, at that particular time, that it's an okay thing to do. So yeah, just watch what everybody else is doing is your best bet. I'm sure there's more. If I think of more, I'll make another video, because we're running out of time on this one. But yeah, just be all very precise and careful. Watch what everybody else does. You'll love Japanese food. There's lots of good food in Japan. At the end of the meal, they say to, it depends on the situation, but if someone's cooked it for you, they'll say to that person, "Gosso samades," and it's thanking them for what they've done, basically. If it's a restaurant and it's someone else is shouting, someone else is paying for it, you'll say it to them. If it's someone's home and they've prepared it, you'll say it to them. If it's a restaurant, you'll say it, if someone else is shouting, someone else is paying, you'll say it to them. And then as you're leaving the restaurant, you'll find they'll say it to the staff. Gosso samades. Not if it's a McDonald's or something, but if it's a real restaurant, that's what they'll do. So yeah, I hope that stuff's helpful. I might end up making another video. There's a lot to this one, but the best thing, like with everything in Japan, watch what everybody else is doing, and learn from that. That's the best way. See you later.